So you want to buy a turbo Falcon. Here are 5 things that you will need when you get it. G'day guys, my name is Zach and I run a YouTube channel called ZacBaldy if you guys don't know me already. This right here is my 2008 Ford FG Falcon and I dare say I've owned this for almost a year now. It's probably been about 11 months and it has been the most fun car I've ever owned. I mean, the only other 2 cars I've had have been NA Falcons and they've just been useless, but the most fun car I've ever owned. But today I'm going to be talking about 5 necessary mods that you guys need to do to make sure you are getting the ultimate driving experience out of this beautiful 1.8 ton taxi. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So this right here guys is my Ford FG Falcon. As I said, it's from 2008, has 190,000 kilometers on it and it looks absolutely pristine for its age. So I've done a healthy list of mods to this car, probably stuff that if you were to buy a stock Falcon that most people would do probably within the first 6 to 12 months. It's had a stage 1 tune, which has pretty much gone from 320-ish horsepower all the way to 440. It's a massive jump and it definitely wakes these cars up. So yeah, let's get straight into the mods. Alrighty, so the first mod is not even going to be on the outside of the car. Now let's say someone gave me a box stock Ford Falcon XR6 Turbo or a G6E Turbo or an F6 or whatever, and someone said modify it to make it fun. The first thing that I would do to make this car fun at all, and the first mod that I would get, is a turbo side intake, which basically changes the battery from over here on the turbo side and the intake over this side, which then crosses over the hot engine and into the turbo. Now a turbo side intake will set you back from about $350 all the way to, I believe there's some for around $700. So it doesn't matter which one you get, they're all pretty much going to do the same thing. At the moment, mine right here is a Mackie-Lek turbo side intake. Now what this is going to do is this is going to change a few things on your car. So first of all, let's look at it performance-wise instead of a fun-wise sort of thing. Basically, the turbo side intake changes the airbox from this side over here to this side over here. Now this makes perfect sense and I don't know why they didn't do it from a factory. However, this means that the air filter which sits right in beneath there, you guys can probably see it's a K&N filter, feeds straight into the turbo. Now it's only got probably about a foot's worth of distance going from the intake to the turbo. Now if it was over this side, however, when you guys see a stock Falcon, you guys will notice that it has an airbox here and a hose that goes all the way over the top with a muffler and then into the turbo. Now this mod here does a number of things. For starters, basically what it does is it stops the air from going over the hot engine and then into your turbo. Colder air means better combustion inside your engine, and better combustion means faster cars. Not having the massive big crossover pipe over the top of the engine bay is definitely a must when modding these cars. And also, if you guys can see right down here, that is a 4-inch intake now. So it's a lot bigger than, I believe it's a 2.5-inch intake or a 3-inch intake. So yeah, larger intake, obviously it depends on the size of the front housing of your turbo, but basically larger intake, better noises with no muffler, and then yeah, it's just wicked. And then comes the fun part. Now we're going to look at it in a fun stance. So I'm going to switch on my car right now and show you exactly why I think this is one of the most awesome mods you can do to your car. Now if you guys have watched some of my previous videos before, you guys will know that that sound is just it's addictive. It is like the killer of all fuel consumption records for a Falcon ever. Like that sound right there, the flutter, the dose, I don't even know what you want to, yeah, that sounds amazing. Now to get that noise with your turbo side intake, this is going to be like a mod 1.5 I guess. The other thing you're going to want with that install is also this right here. This is just a doorstop or a like, you know, those star pickets that you drive into the ground. It's like one of those toppers. So pretty much when you install this, it's got to go exactly where the place of the blow-off valve is. So usually you have a factory blow-off valve here that'll feed back through to your intake. However, with this here, you block it off, get rid of everything, and this will basically make all of your boost come back out through the turbo, and that's what makes that flutter noise. Alright, so you want to buy a turbo Falcon and you've made it sound cool on the intake side. Now what are you going to do with the exhaust side? Let me show you. So there is a whole heap of aftermarket exhausts you could buy for your turbo Falcon. However, I went a completely different route and I actually got mine fully fabricated. So this right here is my setup that I have been running on my car for almost, I dare say, probably about 7 months now. I've tried a few systems and this is the best one I have found so far. The way my car works is I have a fully fabricated rear section of my exhaust. The center section is all the exact same. However, the back of it, if you guys can see, is actually completely different. It comes out to not one side, but two sides. So that one that I actually had done by my friend Dan from Elite Exhaust and Fabrication in Brendale, and he was the one that actually chopped off the rear section of my exhaust, keeping the stock front. And then what we did was we went up to two 2.5 inch pipes to 2 hot dogs, and then back out to 2 3.5 inch systems. And then after the hot dogs comes out to 4 2.5 3 oh my god. And then after the 2 hot dogs comes out to 4 3.5 inch tips, which look mad. Usually they're polished, but I made a few mistakes. So yeah. Once again, I'll show you guys how it sounds. So I know all too well that my exhaust is not the loudest thing in the world. However, it definitely sounds good for the things that I want to do with it. Like, I daily drive this thing. Every single day I put about 20,000 Ks in it in 11 months. I absolutely love it. And yeah, it doesn't drone. That's the best thing. The best thing about this car is it doesn't drone. It's my favorite. So you want to buy a turbo Falcon, and we've done the exhaust, we've done the intake. Now what would be my number 3 thing that I would do to this car is definitely change up that horrible, comfy, amazing, doughy suspension. Trust me, it is, it's unique. It's unique. So the suspension that originally comes in this car is actually really good. Not in terms of performance, but in terms of comfort. When I first picked up this car, it had a set of 18s on it with 40 profile tires, and it had stock suspension, and it was stock height and stock exhaust. Everything was stock on this car, and it was a beautiful car to drive. It had just enough power. It just went wherever you pointed it. It just went, and it was comfy. But now I've just destroyed it, and I'll show you exactly what to do to destroy yours too. So I've actually installed, you guys cannot see this at all. There you go, just up the back there, you might be able to have a little look. But I have installed a set of MCA purple coilovers on this car. Coilovers completely changed the way this car handled, especially on the track. Now, because I do track my car fairly often, and I like to go out to Lakeside and Queensland Raceway, I don't go around corners that much and try to do some, you know, fast cornering and stuff like that, but I know I will do it in the future. But I can tell you that these coilovers have definitely helped my confidence in cornering and just going on mountain runs, just doing everything, and it looks a hell of a lot better too. Now, these coilovers, I was actually sponsored through Longbeast Performance, and Craig, you are a legend, thank you so much. And yeah, I have loved these coilovers ever since Gene put them in. They have to be set up right, and it looks so fat too. And also I can go a hell of a lot lower too, trust me. You can go so much lower. Now, before you start throwing massive power into this thing, because trust me, these barras are extremely tunable, and even just from my first stage, which I did a couple of things, I got up to 440 horsepower, which is close enough to 500 for me. It's good for daily driving, it spins first through third, and yeah. So what I did before I did my tune was I got some brand new brakes. So these right here, I upgraded to EBC yellow stuff pads, as well as VMAX J-hook rotors, and they're the same size as what standard comes with the Ford Falcon Turbo from factory. However, at the back, I've actually upgraded to the PBR Territory rear calipers and rotor size as well. So it changes the rear rotor size from 328 to, from I believe, around about 302. They originally were, but now they're 328. So they're actually larger rotors in the back than the front, which I thought was quite funny. Now, don't get me wrong, the factory Falcon brakes for the turbo are actually really decent. They're a lot bigger than the regular NA ones, and trust me, the NA ones, they were all right as well, but they were just, they couldn't hold up to a track. And so definitely upgrading the pads and rotors on these cars is definitely necessary if you guys want to be going to tracks, or you're just going to be upgrading the power. Yeah, you can also find a lot of Brembo kits really cheap as well for around about 1,000 to 1,500 depending on which ones you get. But that's definitely a worthwhile upgrade too. So that would be number 3 on my list, no 4 on my list, sorry, is definitely upgrading those brakes. Alrighty, it's starting to rain now, so I better finish this video up really quickly. Got stock wheels on it. That would be one of the only other things that I would do to this car to make it fun, look good, drive well, even though it's probably gonna drive the same as stock wheels, you guys get me. But what I did was I went with a set of 19 by 9.5 plus 15s all around, and these are just like a knockoff of the TA37s. These are a Rotor Grid R in machine face with a hyper black center. That would be the only other thing that I would do to a Falcon, is definitely upgrade the wheels. Now you can go a whole lot wider than the stock 8-inch wide wheels, and I believe with FPVs you have staggered set, which is 8-inch wide fronts and 9-inch wide rears, but you can definitely upgrade that all around. You can even do it without guard work. I think I fit 19 by 9.5s without any guard work whatsoever, and I just went with a plus 35 all around, and that was just, they were horrible specs, but yeah. You can easily upgrade the wheels and get a much larger tire and wheel combination inside the car, so that's definitely a necessary upgrade as well. And it makes your car look so much better. Alrighty, so I understand this is probably going to be a really short video, but I really wanted to get this out for you guys because I know a lot of you guys have been asking what would I do when I first got my Falcon. So that is exactly what I would do. Now I've done a lot more to my car, which is in a video to come as well. I want to go around the entire car and show you all of you guys exactly what I did to make the power that I did and the feel of the car that I did. So yeah, if you guys like the video, remember to subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. And yeah, it was a fun video to make. Now on my channel I don't normally do this sort of thing. I kind of do more vlogs, and that's a lot more fun for me to do, simply because I don't have the brain power to fabricate a sentence, apparently. Mental capacity to like throw everything together and then talk about it for ages and do those massive big videos where everyone enters like graphics and all that sort of stuff. It's not really my style of video. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this, trying to get myself out of my comfort zone. And if you liked the video, remember to leave a like, that'd be wicked. And if you wanted to comment any mods that you think you would do to your Turbo Falcon for the first time, leave them in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys would do if you ever got a Ford Falcon Turbo, or if you had a Ford Falcon Turbo and you modded it, and what you might be doing already. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace out.